Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your Jonathan, Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. I'm going to jump right on into this, man. I've been having a lot of discussions back and forth. One of my more viewed shows is when I talk about Roger Craig. And I got a bunch of back and forth with that, right? It's cool. I'm all good for that. We can debate. We can have fun with it and stuff like that and whatnot. But I think I talked about this subject when I first started back in 2017 when I first did my first show. And this is about Lester Hayes, the great Lester Hayes, right? The judge, you know what I'm saying? So when we talk about him, this is what we need to go ahead on and start dealing with right now when we talk about the judge, right? So one of the things that always comes up about Lester Hayes, right, is that after the 1980 season, his interception total went down, and that they barred Stickum. That's cute. That's fine. Nice argument and whatnot, right? Let's do this. The reason why Lester Hayes is not in the Hall of Fame, I'm gonna give you the two reasons: 79 and 80. Why do I say 79 and 80? Right, 79, which made his third year in the league. Lester Hayes had 7 interceptions for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? Right. The next year, in 80, he had 13 for 273 yards, which led the league, and a touchdown. We're not even talking about the 5 that he got over in the playoffs and whatnot, right? And another touchdown over there and everything. So Lester Hayes from 1980 to 1984, and I'm saying from 1979 to 1984, right? Lester Hayes was a first-team All-Pro cornerback, 6 foot 200 pounds. That was big for a cornerback during that particular time. That's a big guy. Normally safeties right there. Cornerbacks 5'11", 6 foot, 175 pounds, something like that. That's kind of was the average and whatnot back during that particular time. Now, Lester Hayes, you're talking about 2 years, 79 and 80, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, right? 20 touches, which means 20 times he intercepted the ball, and his return yards was over that of 373 yards, which gave you just about a 19-yard average whenever he intercepted the ball, right? Now, that is the reason why Lester Hayes is not, people sit up there and talk about Stickum. Until somebody's able to sit up there and explain to me or show me where Lester, because they say after Stickum, his interception rate went down. What about they just didn't throw his way? After averaging 10 interceptions per year in 79 and 80, quarterbacks was like, I'm not throwing that joker's way, right? He didn't pull a Brian Sipe. And what I mean by Brian Sipe was the NFL's MVP in 1980, right? First team All-Pro quarterback. They won that. I think they won a division and end up losing to the Raiders in the. I want to say that I don't know if that was the AFC Championship game or whatever. To that infamous play, I think Mike Davis, who just recently passed, who intercepted the ball there in the end zone that was going for Ozzie Newsome. I forget the name of the play. They always use the particular play, right? And so so after that, because Brian Sipe came into the league in 1974. He comes in the league in 74, plays for 84. He has that 1 year. Before then, he wasn't shit. After the 1980 season, 81 down to 84, he didn't do shit. Lester Hayes was still a All-Pro cornerback, second team, be that as it may, but he was going to the Pro Bowl as well. So it wasn't this one hitter quitter type thing that he ended up basically that Brian Sipe had that 1 year that he caught in the bottle, or caught lightning in a bottle. He was still productive from 79 to 84. Lester Hayes was one of the top cornerbacks. Remember, you're talking about somebody who played safety and linebacker in college. Changed him to a cornerback, a new position at 6 foot 200 pounds, 6 foot 205 pounds. And changed him to that. And being one of the top corners in the league for a 5 or 6 year stretch. And you mean to tell me he's not in the Hall of Fame? I didn't say maybe, if you want to play with the numbers, we can play with the numbers. Maybe not a first ballot. Maybe not even second ballot. Third ballot Hall of Fame, he should have already been in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so when we start talking about that, you're talking about somebody that was consistently one of the top cornerbacks in the league, and they didn't throw his way until you show me film evidence where he was dropping balls and he had butterfingers and whatnot. The argument for the stick him is ridiculous. It makes no sense because he had to stick him. He had 13. Fine, you outlawed it. If he was a one-hitter quitter like Brian Sipe, I got you. He wasn't that. He was still one of the top cornerbacks in the game for a 4 or 5 year stretch and was all-pro second team four times. One time he made that of the all-pro first team. That was in 1980 and 79. He made all-pro second team and didn't make the Pro Bowl. That's favoritism and shit if you don't go in the Pro Bowl and whatnot. But it still meant something. So you're talking about someone, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about someone who was a 5-time Pro Bowler and a 1-time All-Pro First Team Defensive Player of the Year, All-Decade Team, right? All-Decade Team and whatnot, and Defensive Player of the Year. Now, why isn't he in? That goes back to, I think, Pete Rozelle and his little bitching and falling out that with Al Davis. But like I said, until you show me film evidence where where he was dropping balls, I can't get with that. Your Stickum argument is weak. And like I say, until we get to that. But other than that, he didn't pull a Brian Sipe. He was still one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL for half a decade. And I've always told you guys, when I start dealing with guys that play a decade and you're the shit for about half of that decade and you've won some Super Bowls and you've been to some playoff games and all this other shit, I'm like, you're a Hall of Famer. Let's say it should be a Hall of Famer. Stick him or no stick him. Talk that shit all you want. But remember, Fred Biletnikoff used stick him. He's in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? He's in the Hall of Fame. Let's say Hayes is not in the Hall of Fame. You went his way. You started not to go his way. Remember, he has 39 interceptions. Right? Check this out. Darrelle Revis Island, 29 interceptions that he has. Why? 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first teamer. No second team, 4-time first teamer. Give him that. Nobody went his way. When you're the shit, they don't go your way. They're scared to throw over that way you're at. So when you start breaking down the numbers that way, because that's what I do over here. That's what we do over here at Everything Football 62 at Big Tex Channel. We do that. And once you start breaking that down, there's no reason why Lester Hayes shouldn't be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Dealing with the McAllen, you know. But that's what I'm talking about. Once you get to that, there's no reason why Lester Hayes should be in the Hall of Fame next year, right? They're letting everybody in. I don't agree with it, but at the same time, he should be in. Now, certain detractors are going to talk shit because I talk shit about Roger Craig. Roger Craig got the ball. If you get the ball and you just putting up pedestrian numbers and you only have basically 2 years where you put up hot numbers, that's different argument, right? Lester Hayes, they didn't go his way because of what he did in 79 and 80. That's 20 interceptions, technically 25 interceptions, but I'm going to just keep it at 20. And you're averaging 19 yards every time you return it. And he's not in the Hall of Fame? Lem Barney's in? Dick LeBeau's in? Stop it. That's some deep hatred for a bunch of white cats that had issues with the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Y'all leave your comments down the bottom. Subscribe to the page. We getting ready to get hyped up over here. And so bringing y'all some more information because y'all guys know I deal with numbers. And that's why I have a lot of issues with some of the people that sit up there and talk to me and we go back and forth is because I deal with numbers. I don't deal with feelings and that homer shit. I'm not a homer. I deal with numbers. You know what I'm saying? And my numbers will match up for my argument and what I'm talking about. You follow what I'm saying? So, again, like I say, Lester Hayes needs to be in the Hall of Fame 2022. or 2021 or whatever it is and shit like that, 2022, put him in the Hall of Fame. I talked about this back in 2017. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame based upon that 5 or 6 year stretch that he did when he was one of the top corners, and he was the top corner tandem with him and Mike Haynes. Come on, man. Come on. Get out there with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so he should be in there. I don't give a shit. You talk that Stickum shit, that worked back during that time. Even after that, he still was a Pro Bowler and a 4-time second-team All-Pro with a first team and a Defensive Player of the Year and 2 rings. So what the fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like I tell you guys all the time, there's no greatest of all time. There's no GOAT as long as time is still going on. That's for Jemele Hill. I say Jemele Hill because I saw her on something was talking about rappers. So y'all gonna have to change y'all. Are you gonna have to change your greatest of all time or your top 5 list? That's what I keep talking about. I say that because look here, man. As long as time is still going on, you can't sit up there and say this guy's this greatest of all time. It's gonna always be something else that pops up. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell you guys all the time, numbers online get emotional. People do, and there is no greatest of all time. We'll holler at you guys later.